My name is Dave. My name is Tom. Yeah, this is Tom. I'm the tape, and together we are the BlabberMalt Show. Specifically, this is episode 124 for the 5. Man, we got a great show for you tonight. Right, Tom?
Yes, pretty good. Can you believe we have taken 123 episodes to get here?
Yeah.
No sound? No sound? All right, hold on.
I can't hear him. I can't even get connected.
How about now? How about now?
No, still no sound? There's a little bit of delay, no?
Do you see our lips moving and nothing coming through? You got us?
Good. All right.
Okay. All right. Like we were saying, this is the BlabberMalt Show, episode 124, December 2nd, 2025. And we had a great one tonight.
He's Dave, I'm Tom. And
Yeah.
this is Mike.
Hi, guys.
This is Mike. And if you're from the area, you know this bar, right? We're downstairs at Great Lakes Brewing Company, and we've been waiting a long time to get down here.
123 episodes.
Yeah.
We had to wait.
123 episodes, and this is the one. We're finally here. After this, we can quit.
We're waiting for you guys to ask.
Yeah, we're done. We're done after
Ask
this.
and you shall receive, my friend.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Before we get too far, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the button, check, make sure you follow us. I know most of you are, but do it again for us, and put some comments in the comments section because it tells the algorithm it's a cool show and you like it. As a matter of fact, right now, put hashtag stay malty, and we'll see if that helps us out. Or maybe put in like what of the three B's is your favorite? The beer, brewing, or bull crap?
Yeah.
Tom's favorite is bull crap.
I knew.
Of the three B's.
I'm going to say it's beer.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So yeah, we do this show every Tuesday, 7 p.m. We go out to a brewery. We go into the studio, talk about beer, brewing, and bull crap, and check the Beacons link and get swag like the sweatshirt here. We got pint glasses, we got coffee mugs, bikinis. We got bikinis in there. Yeah, you just put your logo on anything. No.
We are cross-posting, too.
We are Northeast Ohio Craft Beverage news site. We are on Facebook tonight. We'll be on YouTube tomorrow and Spotify. So
Fantastic.
yeah.
And we're here again, we mentioned, with Mike from Great Lakes Brewing Company. And where are you guys located at, and where can people find you media-wise?
Well, we are down at 2516 Market Avenue in the beautiful Ohio City neighborhood in downtown Cleveland. Been here for 37 years now. That's our physical presence for our brew pub. You can find us on all the socials, of course. Great Lakes Brewing Co. on Facebook, or GLBC Cleveland on Instagram. And there's a GLBC Brew Pub account for Instagram as well for pub-specific content.
You guys are everywhere. People come down here, stand in line for
They do.
certain events. We've seen those posts and stuff. So
At 6 a.m. Yeah.
6 a.m.
Yeah, you guys just had the first pour of Christmas sale not too long ago, isn't that right?
About 2 months ago.
2 months ago?
It feels like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, it was 2 months because it was October and we're in December now.
That's right. It's hard to believe it is December already.
We are graciously drinking some beers that we toasted with today. I'm drinking the orange
Blood Orange Vivacious Double IPA. Yeah.
which the whole series is fantastic. I fell in love with the Vivacious. I mean, all your doubles when you guys used to do the Lake Erie Monster and stuff, but I think this series that you have brought out is another sweeter dimension to that double IPA piece.
That
Definitely.
low bitterness, right? Yeah.
And then Dave, what you went old school.
Yeah, I got the Ellie and Ness. I mean, come on. You can't argue with that.
And what do you have, Mike?
I went with the Midwest Hazy IPA. It's part of the flight, so you guys got stuff that wasn't in the flight, but I was just feeling hazy tonight, so I went with the haze.
Yeah, it's a solid beer as well. One of the newer offerings.
It's available at a lot of bars. I see that at a lot of places. The Midwest, there's the two different ones, I believe, the hazy and then the other one that are out there. at a lot of places right now.
Yeah, I call it the classic Midwest type. The blue can.
Yeah, we'll get into a little bit as to what you guys define it as a Midwest. What makes it a Midwest?
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the reasons we really couldn't wait to get down here is because if you're going to talk about any brewery in the craft brewing scene in Cleveland or Ohio or even the region, I mean, on that lexicon, you have to put Great Lakes Brewing Company at the top of the list. Am I wrong, Tom?
You're not. And, it goes back to a few episodes ago when we did our Gateway Beer episode. And what we're doing was bringing back beers that a lot of brewers that we've talked to in the past said was their gateway into craft brewing. And sure enough, we had the Dortmunder Gold.
More than a few people mentioned Dortmunder as a gateway beer. Yeah,
That was mine.
yeah.
That was mine.
That was your
Yeah.
gateway beer?
Mhm. First beer was an Amstel Light. Second beer was a Dortmunder. Never turned back.
Yeah. Amstel's no shabby beer either, but come on, Dortmunder. Yeah.
Yep.
And again, 1988, so that's a while ago. I was going to say 3 years prior to that was when I graduated from just down the street here at
Here we
St.
go.
Ignatius.
Oh, good man.
That's right.
Good rock.
That's
There we
right.
go. I'm wearing a different ring, but yeah.
Keeping it local.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'll say, with our 2 boys also went there, and of course later on, then one of them played soccer, so there are many Septembers where we were out at the soccer field, and you could smell the Christmas ale brewing actually right across the field.
I actually I ran track at Ignatius, and there would be times where this terrible smell would come across the track as we were running, and yeah, that was the brewing process. Now it smells real good, but
Yeah.
back then, yeah.
Yeah, you're sucking wind and you're trying to get good oxygen. You're just getting malt.
Yep.
You know.
So, we're talking about where we're at. We actually got a little bit of a exclusive to come down, and I use that term since this is sometimes where the pub exclusives are.
There we go.
We are in the basement of Great Lakes Brewing Company, which right now, probably see some of the ornaments above us and stuff, is decked out as a Christmas bar, right?
Indeed.
A holiday bar.
We call it the Secret Cellar Christmas Bar. It's, of course, the worst kept secret in Cleveland, but that opened up the weekend before Thanksgiving, and it runs weekends up until the week before Christmas, and then we switch to every single day for those 2 weeks before and after Christmas. So they got some cocktail specials down here, but of course Christmas ales flowing. Extra festive with the, basically Christmas just barfed all over the room. That's the whole vibe down here, right? So.
Yeah, the pop-ups are popular.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then even when off season, so not Christmas, it's a nice area. I know when we come down here, we'll try and pop down because there generally is 1 or 2 beers that are on draft down here that are not upstairs, correct?
There has been in the past. Right now, most bars get taken care of equally. In the past, we did do we had a little kegerator down here that I remember having actually a guest tap beer down here way back in the day. But and the other big thing we used to do was the Firkins down here. Yeah, which casks are, unfortunately, I think you guys would agree, casks are unfortunately not all the rage right now. I wish they were.
Well, for me, they are.
They are for us, right?
Yeah.
So.
It is hard to market that right now.
Yeah, but the vibe down here, one way or the other, exclusive beers or not, the vibe is always good down here.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool space. So we got to get busy. We got a flight in front of us, and we want
Get
to
into
sample these. So what are we doing here? Just go left to right?
Yeah, go
Should we
left to right.
Let's
All
go
right.
left to right. Yeah. And why don't we do the 2 Midwest together?
Yeah.
Midwest,
Okay.
Hazy and with
So these are the ones that these came out a couple years ago, correct? It hasn't been that long.
Yeah, so Midwest, classic Midwest IPA, which if you've seen it out in stores, it's in the blue can with the stripes. That came out in early 2024. Then we added the Midwest Hazy this year in early 2025, which is in an orange can with a similar pattern with the Great Lakes on those stripes. So they really meant to go hand in hand where, it's the Midwest IPA is your more classic American style IPA, And then the Midwest Hazy is our interpretation of the more New England style IPA, if you will. So,
Yeah, and I believe those were available in a sample pack too, weren't they? What was the third beer? Refresh my memory.
the IPA variety pack we call Hop Madness, that's got the two Midwests. It's got the juicy version of Vivacious, and then the other fun thing, which I'm sure the listeners would love to know about, is the fourth beer in the pack is an exclusive to the pack. So we rotate the package a couple times a year, and every time we do that, it's a unique recipe you can only find at that pack. And of course, we'll have a couple of kegs we'll throw on draft here, but
That's how they get you. Damn you! Gotta buy this
exclusive,
sampler. Yeah,
right?
that's good marketing. That's just good business right
So,
there.
we talked that both of these are called Midwest, the Midwest IPA, Midwest Hazy. Is there a style that makes it Midwest versus a West Coast or New England, or are we just because we're in the Midwest?
Yeah.
Or is there something special you guys are doing to put that Midwest/Ohio twist on it?
Yeah, we think so. And obviously, we're always standing on the shoulders of our forefathers. And so there have been beers implicitly understood as maybe a Midwest IPA, let's say a Two Hearted or something like that, right? But there hasn't really been this explicit expression of Midwest IPA until recently. And we really leaned into it with these two beers right here. So our thought process, what makes these Midwest style IPAs is set up the dichotomy. You got the old school West Coast, you got your high IBUs, you got your bitter punch, you've got dank, resin, stuff like that. Cool. And then you got your New England, you've got your soft, low IBU, full-bodied, ripe tropical fruit, that whole kind of thing. In the end, both Midwest IPAs try to do is kind of take elements from both and meet in the middle. So you've got the
Literally
fusion of the two in the middle. And then a big part of what makes them Midwest as well is the approachability of these IPAs. So, of course, in recent years, IPAs have become generally a little bit more palatable to a wider audience. So we really wanted to present that approachability and drinkability in both the classic American IPA form and the hazy IPA form. And basically, it's that approachability that makes them Midwest nice, basically. So they're two very nice IPAs.
So you kind of
just like the people of the Midwest.
Just like the people of the Midwest.
That's right.
Exactly. Yep.
That's right.
So what I would say is specifically, the clear Midwest IPA, you would think, okay, a classic American IPA is going to have the bitterness backbone. This doesn't have it. It's low IBUs at about 45 or something like that. The hazy, obviously hazy leans a little bit more New England. But we call this one nice because sometimes the hazies can be very full-bodied and thick, whereas the mouthfeel for the Midwest hazy increases the drinkability, where you can have a couple pints and kind of knock that weight down. So that's how they both kind of embody the Midwest nice mentality.
Well, I think that's a very fair description. I mean, this doesn't punch you in the face with those hops like a Stone IPA or something like that.
And so one other element that I like to mention to people too is just because we're talking about restrained on the bitterness side or not as thick, they still have the hop aroma that you want in a good IPA. So it's not a watered down IPA or anything like that. I love IPA. I drink Midwest and Midwest Hazy all the time. But also people who might not normally go for IPA would find these appealing as well.
And they're still coming in 5 or 6 ABVs?
The classic Midwest is 7% and hazy is 6.5.
6.5. Yeah. I know this one. If I see this at a bar, and the rest of the selection is your normal bar tap stuff, and maybe you got the Rheingeist Truth that we joke about is everywhere. But if I see the Midwest IPA, I'll grab this automatically. Even right now over the Dortmunder, which used to be my classic, I think I like just my taste right now is this kind of more IPA versus the German lager at the moment.
Nice.
Yeah,
Love
very
it.
good. So, Mike, while we're going to work our way through these beers, but we kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit. Like, How did you get connected with Great Lakes? You know,
Yeah.
when you first discovered them, and how did you come on board?
And what is your role and title as well?
Yes.
Sure. Yep. So it actually goes back to Ignatius a little bit. Actually, believe it or not.
Everything goes back.
After
Even though you're working for two St. Ed's guys.
I know, right? It's supposed to be the other way around, right?
Exactly.
But
We're allowed to say that.
yeah, we're allowed to say that. They'll fire me tomorrow. But. So I did a volunteer year after college at the school, and we lived right across the street, right next to the Jesuit residence and all that. So naturally, you know, two, 3 times a week, we went to the pub over here when we were done, because we were 22 and all that stuff.
Oh, of course.
And basically, after that volunteer year, I was looking for teaching gigs, didn't find anything. I asked my buddy who was a manager if I could get some, you know, have a gig and stuff. So I was bussing tables, and then blink 13 years later, and here I am.
Yeah, you're
I'm
here.
Still, so I did served in the pub, did public tours, moved over to the marketing side around 2017. Handled. I still run our internal training program, or I should say, just training program generally. So like. Internal staff members, partners at retailers. We'll bring, you know, wholesaler reps will come in, all that stuff. Have you guys talked to Luke on the show yet? Luke Purcell?
Yes. Yes.
So I always thank Luke for leaving Great Lakes, because I was able to take his training role from him. So, hi Luke, I love you. COVID hit, so you know we were in the office. So I picked up some traditional marketing stuff. But this year I moved kind of back, a little bit more out in the field, doing what we call brand development. So
Yeah.
I have a team of 3 samplers who go out to local stores, and you know, what's the best way to get someone to try a new Great Lakes beer than taste it, right?
Yep.
So and I go out there and do that myself. So it's a lot of fun.
That's cool.
So I'm going to assume that as a marketing person promoting the product, you must have to make sure you're familiar with the product and
Yes.
taste test everything from the fermenters all the way to the taps, or
Yeah. I'll go back and forth. So I'm out and about more than I used to be, but I still try to sit on sensory panel as much as I can. I really should be doing at least once or twice a week. I also have for those who value the certification out there, I've got the level 3 of the Cicerone certification program, so advanced Cicerone. There's about 200 right now of us, but it's really cool. There's actually 2 of us here at Great Lakes.
Wow.
So our sensory specialist, Jacob, who actually works on formulating a lot of our flavored beers, he also has the certification. So we study together. I passed first.
Big
But
Ignatius background.
I wouldn't have passed without him. Thanks, Jacob, for helping me out. But yes, I mean, certainly if you're out there representing the product anywhere, here in the pub or out in the field helping the sales guys, whatever, like you do need to know the product quite well.
Dave, how do we get a job like that?
I don't know, but we're going to talk off camera. We're going to figure that out, man. It sounds like a good gig.
You guys want to bust some tables for a little while?
Yeah. 13 years, and
Yeah.
just like that,
There you go.
you're in.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got? What do we got up next
We're
here?
a little holiday spirit here now. I think next two.
Oh yeah. I mean, kind of have to introduce this beer before we get into it. I mean, this is iconic for the area. I mean, Great Lakes kind of launched this beer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
I
mean,
would say so. Yeah.
everybody has a Christmas ale now, but it started here.
Yeah, and still going strong. So I mean, it's interesting. So if you get to be the person who tastes it, in the sensory that you mentioned, at least as a consumer of Great Lakes Christmas Ale, probably for at least 15, 20 years, and it's been out probably at least that much, if not a little bit longer.
Yeah, early 90s.
Early 90s.
So, yeah.
It has tasted different some years. And
Some say.
Some say, and at least there was a while. At least what you read online and stuff. The honey that goes in there was the honey. The hard to control because it depends on what the bees that year, summer did and stuff. It could taste different. The amount that you put in, tweaking the recipe, maybe finding the right one, and then it does be the same one for a few years. Any insight? Is it a recipe that does have some fluidity, or is it very, very concrete?
So what I would say is, for all intents and purposes, there's never been a wholesale change for the beer. And my experience, I've talked to Mark Hunger, our brewmaster, and all that, like stuff like ABV. He's been here since '97, and he's like, ABV has always been 7.5, that kind of stuff. Some think it used to be higher. For the people who think that the ABV used to be higher, I remind them, were you only drinking Miller Lights 10 years ago, and now you drink other stuff, right? I mean, there's stuff like that going on,
all relative,
right? And I
yeah.
wasn't there, but I believe that people have told me all this stuff. When it comes to formulation, like, I think any good brewer will do small tweaks to any of their beers here and there to make them better or keep them completely consistent, because raw materials are always changing and all that stuff, right? But for all intents and purposes, there's never been a wholesale change to that core recipe of base amber ale with, a 55-gallon drum of honey, a lot of cinnamon and ginger added in there. So, again, like you said, doing the homework and all that stuff, you may notice a small amount of variability, like if the honey is more fermentable or less fermentable. That beer might appear sweeter, it might be drier, and the spices pop more. But really, the core of the beer is always exactly the same. There's never any change like, oh, we're going to make it taste totally different than it did the year before. And if it's been 10 months since you've had a Christmas ale, I'm sure everyone refers to their detailed tasting notes from last year when they have their next Christmas.
You got blackout drunk on it.
And you can bust the myth too. When you guys do Christmas in July, it is not a keg that's left over from Christmas. You guys actually do a second brew, correct?
Correct, and we've expanded that a little bit in recent years too. It used to be we did a batch just for the pub, and really, like, that's the beginning of the production. That's when we're ramping up for the full scale production, which is crazy if you think about it, because we're brewing batch in early July to ready for the pub. But now we do a full batch, and we send some off to just draft, some local retailers and all that. Some places have kept kegs before and all that, and of course there's going to be oxidation, the spices fade and all that stuff, so it's better fresh. So we have a little bit more available these days, but cans and bottles and stuff like that are just for the full season. So.
And now we have another Christmas beer. They think came out just within the last 2 years. Oh, go ahead.
Put that on pause. We would be remiss if we didn't address the legends of Christmas ale and other breweries. So,
Yes,
is there any
yes,
truth
yes.
to the fact that 12 Dogs is actually the original recipe for this beer? Or?
Yeah. I'll take it.
Go ahead.
No.
All right, on to
No, but what's great is, and I personally, I'm at the point where, like, I think it's, first of all, it's kind of an honor that there's a legend about a local beer like that. You know
It
what I mean?
is.
So
It's awesome.
That's how much people care about this beer.
Yeah.
Is that there's this, ongoing story. So, if Tim's watching this, hopefully this is completely faithful. But the true story is, Mark Bona wrote an article about this too. You can go back. 2016, we did a brewmasters dinner during Cleveland Beer Week, where we invited alumni of Great Lakes. So it was actually really cool. It's like Matt Cole, Andy Tvikram, Luke was still with us at the time. He listens to Josh Jones and so on. And then, of course, Tim down at Thirsty Dog. And he publicly told the story of, like, I believe it is, he's a shift brewer here, and he went to Pat and Dan and was like, hey, Christmas ale is great, but I think what if we did these tweaks, it could be better. And of course the Conways are kind of like, I don't know, bro, I think it's pretty good, right? It's Christmas ale. So my understanding is that 12 Dogs is basically his modified version, like what he would have done with our Christmas ale, which is, of course, completely fine and an honor and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, it's a
kinda
riff. It's
gets
a
to the
rip on
point.
Christmas ale, but it's
Yeah,
A
and
fun-
then you see the other expressions with Holly Jolly, and the list goes on, right? So,
Yeah.
like you kind of mentioned before, we weren't the first spiced amber ale out there or anything like that, but I think we're the ones who kind of made it this phenomenon.
yeah. Apple didn't invent the smartphone, but they kind of made it what it is, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. Now we can get on to the cookie
Yeah.
cookie cutter cookie
I'm gonna say maybe
exchange.
2 years. It has not been out that long, right? I remember 2 years. What's it?
This is year 3.
Year 3, and what is it?
Yeah,
What's
we're
it
on
called? What's
year
the official
3.
name of it?
Cookie Exchange Milk Stout. So this is a sidecar seasonal that goes along with Christmas ale.
Sidecar.
Sidecar. Yeah. Well, you're gonna buy your Christmas ale. You can buy also the Cookie Exchange on top of that. So the fun thing about it's a base milk stout, 5.5 ABV. It's got your lactose for some sweetness and all that. It's actually really nice. Tasting it on sensory up here in Ohio City because it's before the flavorings go in, so it's actually really good base milk stout on its own. But then we add in our Strongsville facility down, where the canning line is and all that. That's where we add certain flavorings to it, and it's meant to taste like a different cookie every year. So this year it is a thumbprint cookie, which is a little sugar cookie with some jam, kind of pressed in with your thumb. So when you guys taste it, you probably notice the base milk stout, and there's that complement of berry that goes along with it.
Where you, I don't know. That's beyond my comprehension. What jam joke is there?
What's the difference between jam and jelly? I'll tell you off air what the.
All right.
We'll go off air.
I don't know that one.
Ignatius education right there.
Now that is delicious. That is,
And-
I mean, like you said, there's a base, just the beer itself. I mean, even if you told me it's not a holiday beer, just having it as a nice stout
Yep.
is enjoyable.
And I call it my guilty pleasure style is the pastry stout. So that's our little pastry. It's nice because it is, most of the time the pastry boys are, heavy hitters, double-digit ABV, but it is nice to be able to get that pastry stout flavor in a more compact package. So we do it in a fun combo pack. You'll see out the stores it's got 6 Christmas ale and 6 of the Cookie Exchange. It's got a little bow on it and everything. So
Nice.
Yeah, nice
Yeah.
marketing.
Yeah, who's in
you
charge
gotta
of
have
that
a
marketing stuff?
I'm not in charge. I just
Oh.
tell people. I just tell people about it. Yeah.
So a little bit earlier there, you mentioned the Conways. So we'd be remiss not to, as we talk about the history of Great Lakes Brewing Company, to at least talk a little bit about the founders,
Sure.
who were from the area,
Yep.
and so tell us the history a little bit of the Conway.
Absolutely. So, Pat and Dan are both from the near west side, big Irish Catholic family, 9 kids. Pat's the oldest, Dan's in the middle. And basically they both, it's a common genesis story for 80s, craft brewers, where they both explored Europe in their youth and encountered full flavored beer styles over there, and then said, hey, it'd be nice to have that in the United States, and went about forming a business plan and doing it themselves here in Cleveland. At the time, there were no operating breweries in Cleveland. The last one had shut down about 4 years prior. That was Christian Schmidt. So, we take and granted the industry's in a pretty tight place today. I don't know if the banks are as eager to write the loans for the stainless steel as they were 10 years ago, but certainly when the brothers started doing what they were doing in the 80s, it was a revolutionary idea for us here in the United States. So especially now the coast had started to get a little bit of it, but especially for us in the Midwest, it was, and in Cleveland in particular, that was a pretty new thing. So, and of course, I'm sure we see them all the time. We all know them personally and all that. They're still around.
Still actively involved.
They're still very much actively involved. They're still
Love to
full.
find out what their gateway beer was. Something
Yeah.
in Europe, probably.
Something great.
Yeah, I feel like Pat talks about the Czech pills. Dan, that's a good question, but I think their favorites are still like Dortmunder and Commodore Perry and all that that stuff. Although they appreciated all the new stuff we've been coming out with.
It was something that I either had read or seen. I mean, because of that experience they had, some of the first Great Lakes Dortmunder, and maybe the couple other ones, they were brewing with the purity law at that time, right? I mean, they were maintaining it, I think.
Early on, as the conditions of what we're operating in change, you kind of highlight different things, like 100% in the 80s, I assume in the 90s. I'm sure we talked. I've seen older materials. I'm sure I've seen it on there because I've done some archival work here, and it talks about Bavarian purity law and stuff like that. And today, of course, it's like, hey, look at all the flavorings in the cookie stout.
Yeah,
but that's just because we're in a different context
it's a different
now.
time, yeah.
And people want flavor, and like we've also all learned that you can use, and maybe we kind of knew this from the beginning, but there was a public perception that you can use flavorings in a tasteful way where it doesn't taste hollow and artificial and all that kind of thing. Now, I love a good Elliott Ness where it's water, malt, yeast, and hops too, but yeah, I'm sure they talked about that early on.
And they did not brew, or do you know if they had any brewing experience, or they brought in a brewer? Who's the first head brewer for Great Lakes?
They were, unlike a lot of the other 80s brewers, your Kens, your Larrys, and so on, Pat and Dan were appreciators but not really brewers, so they hired a man named Thane Johnson, who was a brewer at Christian Schmidt, and he formulated the recipes for Dortmunder Gold, for Elliott Ness.
I've heard stories of Luke working with him, actually.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So he was. I understand he was. I think he was an old school German dude, really. So, he had a sense of humor, but also, strong opinions and all that stuff. So, it sounds like he was a good dude. Yeah, for sure. And then, so Thane, a brewer, but not an engineer. So he brought his buddy Charlie Price, who also worked for Schmitz, to construct Brewhouse Number 1, which is literally
we saw that
almost
upstairs.
literally right above our heads right now. And then the stainless is back behind the back bar, right over there. So
that's where
we
it all
still
started.
use that system today. Yeah, the wild man Steve Foreman uses that for, the Czech Pills is coming up on the flight, and that's something he would have brewed on the 7-barrel system over here.
So you do you do small batch brewing on a 7-barrel,
Yep.
and of course across the street here you've got the huge big boys. How big is the big boys?
Big guy's 75. So, and when we installed that, we thought, what are we going to do with this capacity and all that? And it's been more or less maxed out over the years. And
wow,
this time the guys are. It's just starting to wind down, but goodness. This sounds crazy, but we're probably most of the way through Conway's already. But the guys, it's a big system, but from early June through the end of November, early December, it's like nonstop because those 3 seasonals are so big for us. And then it's quiet.
That's such a big system. It's hard to imagine,
Well, your small
much
batches
beer.
you're doing on a 7-barrel.
Yeah, which is the max capacity of a lot of the brewers we talk to, when we go out and about. But yeah.
All right, so you mentioned these next two. This is your Is it the bucket?
That's Easy Bucket.
Easy Bucket, which you guys do brew for the Cavaliers.
Yep.
I gotta slip this in real quick.
Okay.
Rick Bell is asking, Midwest IPA, Indiana Pale Ale, Iowa. No, Rick, India. Come on, Rick.
Look, I think a small brew pub in Indiana should do an Indiana Pale Ale. Whatever.
They probably have.
Yeah.
Look on Untapped. I'm sure it's out there.
Well, what's interesting though is that is the name of your beer, but you can go to other places. Let's say Illinois, somewhere you may find a IPA, and the style will be Midwest IPA. It's become it is a style of beer.
Others are starting to use the term a little bit more.
So did you guys coin that? Do you know if that
I
is?
wouldn't say we necessarily coined it. We can't trademark it too. It's a general term. I think we're the first ones who really leaned into it for like a large scale release type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some implicit understanding. Okay, it's kind of Midwest style, but that's, I mean, it's kind of one of those things.
should.
Where there's so much.
Trademark it. See what happens.
No, I think we literally can't trademark it. Yeah.
Well, you can try. You can try.
We can't trademark like Christmas sale. Yeah. Well, you never know.
Well,
Slip it through.
Wait till that letter comes.
You may as well trademark Christmas ale, because the number of times you're in a bar and somebody orders a Christmas ale and they automatically go to yours,
Sure.
realizing there are other beers that are Christmas ales,
Yeah.
but the Christmas ale is synonymous with Great Lakes.
I think so.
All right, so we're talking. This is what's it, bucket?
Easy bucket.
Easy bucket, a pale ale.
So this one, we have been official partners with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I believe this is year 3 of the partnership. Wonderful partnership. Obviously, a great team. We have a number of perks, I guess you could say, as part of the partnership. One of them, the first and foremost, one of the early things we did was come up with the idea of doing some kind of beer as official partners. So I believe we had a style in mind already, but the name was a fan vote, which is pretty cool. I love the name, how it turned out, Easy Buckets. It's perfect sports, sports beer drinking
easy
name.
to order.
And then it was a blonde ale. For those out there listening, if you're familiar with it and you haven't had it yet this year, it was a blonde ale in past years. But, hey, could you actually have him pass that Cold Rush can over? We're going off screen for a second here. So, and I have to talk about Cold Rush for a second, too. So, we came out with Cold Rush. You guys can see it on screen here. The premium light lager late last year. And it was basically like, and unfortunately it's not on tap right now, otherwise I would have had you guys try it in the flight. But you got a 4%, 100-calorie, good tasting, but very easy drinking light lager. It's kind of like a little bit redundant with the blonde ale, right? So we switched the blonde ale to a pale ale. It's still easy. It's 5%. It's all late hopping, so there's the bitterness again is low, but it's 100% citrus hops, so it's got that nice plume of citrus going on. So you can still, in 2015 we would call it a session IPA or whatever, right?
Yeah,
but so we just changed the style, but it's still easy as a beer called Easy Bucket should be. I personally really dig this pale ale formulation. It's a new school pale ale too, where ain't no malt in that guy right there. It's just pale malt, a little bit of wheat, and then citra hops.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yep.
No crystal.
No crystal. There's a time and a place for crystal, but not in this guy. Not in this guy. Yeah.
So what formats over at the arena do you have it? Is it in the cans or is it draft? Or
Yep.
a bit of both?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I'll take this guy. We do it at Rocket Arena. We've got it in the 19.2-ounce cans. We've got it on draft for sure. We do have a bar there called the Great Lakes Experience, which is 100% dedicated for Great Lakes. I think there's 8 or 10 taps on there. It is all decked out for the holidays right now, too, which is really cool. You'll find it throughout the arena. And then right now there's a limited amount kind of floating around, maybe a little bit on draft here, maybe a little bit of package here. The full release for Easy Buckets is after the holidays in January, when the basketball season starts really ramping up.
Yeah.
So you guys will see it in the 12-ounce can 6-packs and 12-packs. And we flipped it. Familiar with the Easy Buckets from last year? It's a white can with the basketball guy. Now it's the primary color is the wine color.
Yeah.
Which I just think is so perfect.
And that's the 19.2 can.
Also
well?
in 19. Yeah, you'll be able to find 19.2. I mean, I think the gift shop upstairs has it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if.
It's nice when you go to the arena, and my buddy Kevin over there takes me to a game. He's not listening right now. But when you go up and you're like, okay, you got the big format cans, the pints, and like it's the same stuff, Miller Lite and whatever.
Right.
And you see Cold Rush or you see Easy Buckets, you're like, it's a no-brainer. It's
Christmas
like,
sale
come on.
19.2s now too.
Really?
Yep.
Now, see, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
dangerous.
have a who's it if it's that.
Well, if it takes
You
you
can put
that
it-
long to drink a beer, you're doing it
You
wrong.
can put a
Tom.
12-ounce. Yeah, the second half will still be cold. Yeah.
All right, now this one, This is a newer one for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know this one, so go ahead and tell us about this one.
So, I mean, we had to do a pub exclusive. We had to, by the way, thank you guys for coming down to the brewery for this. So,
Thank you.
I figure it's fun to just do it here. So,
Absolutely.
So we often have, I mean, Steve tries to have at least a couple beers that you can only get on tap here. It's part of the appeal, of coming down to the brewery is to have something. You want to try the core stuff fresh, sure, but
Yeah.
you also want to see what the brewer's kind of up to, how they're kind of.
Steve is the current brewer right now.
Steve Foreman runs the pub system, the one right upstairs. Mark Hunger's the main brewmaster. Stephen Powell's is the overall ops lead. Worked at Boulevard for about 20 years. Pretty decorated brewer in the industry. So,
I love Tank 7.
Tank 7, right? Steven, if you're watching, more Saison. I'm just kidding. Unfortunately, we know the Saison will sit there for 3 months, right? So, well, we'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. But yeah.
Right, so this one is
It's a Czech Pils.
Czech Pils.
Yeah. And Foreman was saying, I mean, I'm fairly certain he did the full, floor malted barley, and
it's very clean.
I'm
crisp.
sure it's Saaz. It's got to be Saaz. Now upstairs, we have the side pull faucet, which, believe it or not, Pat Conway was actually the one who wanted the side pull.
Really?
So and
old school.
it's old school, but it's funny because it's trendy amongst younger than Pat brewers, right? Yeah, but then Pat's like, I want the side pull. It's like, so Steve, the first time Foreman, he brewed the Czech Pils because we had the side pull. I assume it's on. We only have the side pull on the main bar, which is the above us right now, but the main level.
Yeah.
So we poured from the taps down here. But if you were to go upstairs, for those of you lager aficionados out there, I'm sure that side pull, the Czech Pils is on the side pull up there.
Because then you can do the different heads on it too.
I'm pretty sure we do. I think.
Yeah, you can get the
I
foam.
was at Rosie's recently. Maybe it was there. I mean, if you ask, they'll pour you the Maliko, whatever. Yeah. Why not? They'll pour you a Schnitt. It's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
That's very good.
Yeah.
It disappeared off screen. Other people are trying it. We gotta
Yep.
we'll get a pint of that later.
And that's just one thing that's one pub exclusive that's on right now. I'm not sure. I think the pumpkin ale just kicked. I'm pretty sure.
That says it's in a can up on that sign there, the pumpkin ale.
Oh, that's an oopsie right there. Definitely not in cans.
Okay.
Yeah. But he tries to have a number of those exclusive beers. Sometimes it'll be the Rotator IPA that we have a one-off keg of or whatever. But you got to have a couple of goodies for when people come down to the pub.
Yeah.
On top of the food and all that too.
Yeah, which we'll get into that a little bit, but we're talking about. You mentioned earlier, you guys did the get together of the old brewers. The fact that Great Lakes Brewing has spawned a lot of brewers that have breweries here in Ohio, in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's some that out of state. I only know the ones here.
Right.
And you guys do a great thing. I think it's at least once a year. You do the Brewers Dinner where you have people come back that are brewers.
So we did it. So we did the alumni one once. Then it was funny. Luke left. I was actually shortly after that dinner to go to Collision, and then I was like, I want to do the dinner, but with the new kids on the block because it was 2017, and it was like that's when Masthead opened. I know Mike was just on, and Terrestrial, and who else was there? Noble Beast. So I did a dinner where I invited, and it was hilarious because Collision had just opened. So I was hosting a Brewmaster's dinner here, and Luke was a guest because he was one of the new kids on the block. No, unfortunately, we only did that dinner a couple of times. It's one of those things where an event idea is fun. People are interested, it's cool, and then you try a third time, and everyone's like, "We already did that." You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you got to raffle off for normal people like us to come to that to be able to mingle with those folks.
I know.
That would be the
I would
fun
love
thing.
to do it again.
Yeah.
You never know. It could come back again. Yeah.
Yeah, but I get the feeling that Great Lakes doesn't hold any animosity to brewers that have gone and done their own thing. Don't dash those feelings for me, but
No,
does that feel true?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's
It's
just
a
like
huge compliment. I
it's
mean.
just like anywhere. I mean, I think thank goodness that's still I think the standard for our industry, even now when things are kind of tough and it's not all sunshine and rainbows and stuff, is that at the core, I mean, most people who work in craft beer are passionate about craft beer, and this whole thing was founded on, like, literally right here, I think, in this room. Snobs was, right? This whole thing was founded on home brewing and people brewing with each other and saying, hey, try my beer. What do you think? What can I do better? And, like, we still do that stuff today. So, you know, we take tips from each other and help each other out. And we're the third or fourth generation of all this now, too. We're, like, you got Matt, who went off, eventually opened Fatheads, and then you got Sean, who worked at Fatheads and runs Noble Beast, you know. So it's, like, cool to see that the family tree continues.
That is
So,
neat.
yeah. So, yeah.
That's why we like it. You know, it's a very welcoming and friendly
Community.
It
Yeah.
really is. So, you know, Great Lakes, humble beginnings, started out, grew to this giant 75-barrel system. How is Great Lakes kind of wrestling with the way, you know, craft beer is kind of changing and morphing and maybe plateauing and kind of maturing? Is there plans to change your offerings? I mean, I will hand it, Great Lakes has started, you know, making the hazies and the vivacious. We got to talk about vivacious before this is over, but a train of thought here. How is Great Lakes trying to grow and with this craft beer scene that's kind of maturing at this point?
Totally.
Yeah, well, I would say the first important part is what you already mentioned right there is that, I mean, we did a lot of work over the past 5-ish years of just getting the beer to where it needed to be. Because, I mean, going into 2019, it was still the family of 5, right?
True.
And those are awesome beers, but it's like
Think about it, 2019.
2019. That's not a long time ago. Well, Great Lakes IPA maybe came out in 2018.
But still, you're talking 5 or 6 years. So the first 20 plus years,
Right.
you guys were just doing your more or less basic. 5
That's
or
all it
6
was
beers.
required, really.
And that's
And the seasonal one of Christmas, and maybe the seasonals of
Yeah.
the Oktoberfest. But
things change so fast, so we had to do a lot, and it's tough for a large brewer like us to pivot for so many different reasons. So did a lot of work just
so that's actually ironic. So we talk about as a big brewer, it is difficult to pivot for the changing industry versus smaller breweries. If you have a 10-barrel system, 8-barrel system, if you need to also start brewing hazy IPAs, you can do it.
Right.
But when you got a 75-barrel system, you got your core beers sitting in there, you
Yep.
got to wait a while, and you really want to commit 75-barrel system to a hazy IPA that you've never made before.
100%. Yeah, and
An interesting
when
dilemma.
and when something's worked for 30 years, it's kind of I mean, it's just kind of shocking. It's like, what? Do we market these things differently? And so there's a certain point where like the tastes have evolved, and there's still the market. We still make Dortmunder and Eddie Fitz and all that stuff, but we had to start making. And it's not like we weren't making new stuff. It wasn't as much of a leaning all in, and now we've kind of leaned a little bit further into. We got to have the light beer. That's especially big right now. Apparently, it's the only craft beer style that's appreciably up right now is light lager, which isn't that funny? That's the whole thing that
You
we.
would have figured
That's
that.
that's
Yeah.
the thing that we started to not do. But how about that?
That was the
And then
enemy there for a
the
while.
Midwest IPA is the vivacious, so you're high ABV but extremely smooth drinking, 9.5%ers, all that stuff. So we had to get all that, and I think we did a great job eventually getting there with the Midwest family, with Cold Rush and all that. But then the next thing is, how about the alternative beverages like
Yeah.
your THC stuff and so on and so forth. So we do have the strawberry peach elderflower THC seltzer. I'm fairly certain it's still in stock up at in the gift shop right above us right now. So.
Oh, okay, because we got Andrew over there is looking for it.
Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's still up there. So we're definitely exploring those spaces. I mean, even with the recent stuff that was happening with like our leadership was like, hey, we should.
Maybe look at this.
Well, it was
Maybe
like
take
we
it
should
up to
like, yeah, this is it's a product that a lot of brewers like us are looking for a future revenue source, and can we make it work where it's regulated and
Yeah.
you know, of course it should be 21 plus and you know, proper ingredient sourcing and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
safety
definitely.
requirements, all that stuff. So we're doing all that, advocating for all that stuff to make sure.
Yeah,
and it looks like it's happening, thankfully, for drinks. So
I think it will.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's tough for brewers. Like alcoholic beverages, beer is what we're known for, and
Right.
even
Core
seltzers are kind of in that wheelhouse.
Yeah, 'cause
This
even that,
THC.
you guys got into a little bit of the seltzers in the last few years as well.
Yeah, or Rocket Pop.
That one's still, and that one's still. We're still doing that one's seasonal. We tried some other stuff. It's so tough with some of these things. If you don't get in at exactly the right time and ride that first big wave, like you know, the ranch
Yeah.
waters, the teas, all that stuff, like. So hopefully we're with you know,
Yeah, it's
as
like
the THC stuff develops, you know,
yeah
we'll see what happens.
yeah.
And all the others, there's plenty of other stuff that we're working on. So
But all of
that I
your,
can't tell you about.
I mean, all of your core beers, though, are still being produced, correct? Is there anything that you guys have discontinued from the...
The only one's the old Burning River, but other
Burning
than
River,
that,
yeah.
for the most part, for the most part, everything else is still around. So, yeah.
Which actually leads us into this next beer.
Okay, let me. What we're talking about, just marketing real quick, just popping in my head. You know, as Great Lakes explores new beers, they also went through and kind of redid some of the branding and the
The
labeling.
labels, yep.
When I look at the old label of the Christmas ale with the black bordered label and the car with the red balls in it, it makes
This
me
one?
yeah, it makes me feel a certain sort of way. And the new one,
Well,
not
I
the
feel
same.
that way about Dortmunder. I liked it when it
You're
had
right,
the gold
yeah.
medal on it.
yeah.
So
That was a little bit more of a departure of the Dort. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, you know, things change,
Yeah.
but, you know, for us old folks here, some things that, it's like, why change it when it's so good?
Yeah. Well, at least with the Christmas Ale one, it's still the train car. Now, the winter scene in the background's a little different perspective. The Dort, I think that was one of those things where, like, we moved, if I'm not mistaken, and Jameson in design can correct me tomorrow if I'm wrong. We moved we're starting to do the 19.2s of Dort, and, like, imagine the tall boy can, but the metal is, like, more horizontal. Like, you can't stretch the metal out. It'd be this, like, metal floating in the middle of nowhere almost kind of thing. So
All right, I get it.
that, we made a choice. We made a choice. I'm going to do like how the new can kind of like the whole thing is like a metal, you know. But a lot of that has to do with the old, like, that's going down to, you know, the boring stuff, like strategy at retail and all that.
Okay, I get it,
But
but
the
it's
whole
like
change from bottles to cans.
When you have-
Christmas ale in a can was the most shocking thing I saw.
Yeah,
a couple years ago,
salacious.
and
Yeah.
I'm so glad you guys left the opportunity to still buy bottles, because
Yeah.
if I'm buying, I'm going to buy a bottle of it, not a can. Just my preference.
For the classic brands, we still do the bottles, yeah, for sure. But it's the whole thing, like the black border thing. I understand there was a certain iconic look to it, but at the same time, it's like we thought it kind of got lost on the shelf a little bit because it's dark. And really, I mean, part of it has to do with context too. Is when all these other brands are coming out with the, you know, confetti. I'm not trying to belittle it, but it's just like the in your face, the colored
everything
designs and
cartoony
stuff.
and
So
okay.
adapting our look to kind of fit that context a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm just stay off my lawn.
I know.
Kind of old guy.
I get it.
I'll still drink it. I don't care.
So Mike was kind enough to give us a iconic beer.
Yeah,
So
you
this
got
is
it.
the Edmund Fitzgerald on Nitro, which I guess Edmund Fitzgerald is still. I was somewhere in the last month or so, out at a bar, and they had it on draft, which I was shocked.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I have not had one of these in over a year, or 2 or 3. I mean, it's been a while since I've had it. So I had one, and it still tasted good.
Beautiful. Yeah, I mean that's our most awarded, most decorated beer at JBF and all that with the 5 medals.
More than Dortmunder.
Jordan only won the one, actually. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
It won our first medal.
That's a
at
good
JBF.
trivia question, actually.
Yeah.
It is.
It won our first.
The most award-winning Great Lakes beer. I wonder
Eddie-
how many would pick Edmund Fitzgerald.
Eddie Fitz. Yep. 5 medals, maybe 3 golds. It's
That is
tied. The number of medals, it's tied
That
to
is
Black
nice.
Butte, but we have more golds. So by the Olympic scoring system, we say Eddie Fitz is the most awarded porter in the states.
That's
but yeah,
the
we do
heavyweight
that.
champ.
We got on the nitro treatment here at the pub, so
Yeah, that's
always a treat to have the dark brew on nitro.
very
Of
nice.
course, we just observed the 50th memorial of the sinking of the Fitz about 3 weeks ago, so we had a number of events here. I mean, 3 nights in a row of like full reservation room with a speaker talking about the history and all that stuff.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
cool.
Very happy to pay tribute to the crew and all that. So,
Sad day. I mean, again, it's one of those neat things where you talk about a history lesson for some younger people who might be drinking this. Maybe they'll ask, what the heck is the Edmund Fitzgerald? Because
Right.
there may be a whole generation or two that don't know or remember that.
Did
Probably
you
don't
play
know
the
song.
was it Gordon Lightfoot
Gordon Lightfoot
song? Did you play that? Did you play
I
it?
don't know if they played it at the events or anything, but I mean, I think it's a tasteful song, of course, right? Yeah, it's very much vivid detail about what was going on, what he imagined was going on, which that kind of captured Pat's imagination too, just what was happening on the ship that day. And part of the reason, if you're not familiar out there, the reason we call the Edmund Fitzgerald because with the dark brew and all that, Pat kind of thought of, first of all, the iron ore that the Fitz would have been carrying, and then like the dark stormy waters on Lake Superior that day. But the brothers, one of their sisters, they're friends with the son of the first mate from the Fitz.
Wow.
And of course, Pat and Dan asked for his blessing. Can we name the ship after your father and his crew? And he said, I think my father would be honored if you did that. And what's really cool is I actually met John McCarthy at one of the events a couple of weeks ago. So this man who I've told his story many times on a tour at Great Lakes, to meet him in the flesh was like, so
Wow, that's neat.
it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
A lot of
So
history.
Very nice man.
So, most decorated beer. What is the best-selling beer for Great Lakes, and what is your favorite
Yeah.
Great Lakes beer?
this week.
Exactly. These things do change for us beer nerds. So Christmas ale, I mean, those things have changed. I don't think they have Christmas ale still #1 seller.
That is the number one
But
seller.
you guys,
Even though it's only out for 6 months.
it's only out for 10 weeks, and ends up being #1 seller, like roughly 20% volume or so.
Wow.
Pretty wild. That's how much people love that beer. Yep. My favorite, I mean, Midwest IPA is the go-to at home right now. So Oktoberfest when it's out, always in strong rotation.
How about of all time?
Favorite Great Lakes beer of all time? Oh, man. I mean, if I had to look at the grand scheme of things, Fitz is up there. I would say top, like, if I looked at my Untappd feed right now,
Even the seasonals.
it's, I mean, in Blackout Stout, it's a great Imperial Stout, a great base Imperial Stout, which we do, every other year or so right now. How about the Glockenspiel?
Oh.
Yeah.
Down, but I do
Yeah.
remember that one.
The
I have-
Glockenspiel,
I have had that,
pub
yeah.
exclusive Weizenbach, which she'll do every couple. That's like maybe every 3 years, but man, that's a love. Chile was always great. Yeah, but if I had to choose pub exclusive, I'd say Glockenspiel, packaged production beer, favorite all time. I'll give the tip of the hat to Eddie Fitz just because over my 13 years of being here, I think I still have to give it to Fitz.
So, as a patron nerd of this place, I mean, I will point out that that's the thing to come down here. You've got the regular beers that are great, but we'll come down here. You'll find, I mean, the seasonal beers. Also, you'll find a beer on tap that you haven't seen of or heard of. You taste it. It might be something you guys are. you do seem to do some small batch, because there are some beers that I've had that was literally just on for that 1 month that we came down here, and you guys do a great job of that. I think it's a great way for people to come down at different times of the year. So you've got your regular beers, you've got your seasonal beers, but you've also got some special beers that pop up every now and then that just, to me, is a draw to want to visit the place.
And there's also, somebody puts thought into, we're going to have a session beer, we're going to have some a little higher ABV. So there's
Variety.
There's every space that you can think of in the beer world, you'll have something down here.
Yeah, I mean, something for everybody. You know, you can see from what we're sampling. Look at the different colors. Look at the different hues of the three lighter beers. I mean, they're all different in flavor, different in their profile, and it's nice to have that variety. If you know, you're coming down here with a group of people and somebody doesn't necessarily like a certain style, they can pick something else. If you're coming down here for a Christmas ale and you're not into Christmas ale, guess what? You're going to find a beer here. So
you'll find some. 100%. Hey, Rick Bell, answer to your most recent question, yes, it does.
All right, whatever that was. All right, so we're ending on a high note here, are we not? Is this a barrel aged?
It is, yeah. We got the,
this?
So this is the first time we've done, at least on a package scale, a variant of the barrel-aged blackout stout. So barrel-aged blackout we've been doing since 2006. We've done, like the casks of, there's a firkin of barrel-aged blackout stout, but I came here when it was one of those, probably, early February, 20-degree foot of snow days, because they tapped. For some reason, we did a firkin of coffee barrel-aged blackout stout. Whatever. Random memory. This is the first time we've done a package form of that, where it's mocha infused, so, coffee chocolate, for sure chocolate infused in there. Probably some vanilla, I'm guessing, but...
So this is called mocha something, right? Mocha?
Mocha barrel-aged blackout stout. Or barrel-aged mocha blackout stout.
11 something?
Yeah, we targeted 11 for... It's actually a little bit lower than the base blackout stout. Base barrel-aged blackout stout. I believe based on the stock we had on hand, it was targeted slightly lower ABV.
Mocha, my God, that is like...
Yeah. I like it. I've had one can so far, and like I said, that's the pastries are my guilty pleasure, and I was sipping that. It's like it's got that integration of the mocha flavor, and the barrel's still there, but I love barrel-aged blackout stout, but it's hot when it's fresh. And for the bourbon people out there, I think that they like that it's hot.
What barrels do you guys use, do you know?
So it's a blend. These days it's kind of like what we can get our hands on from the broker, because, we used to just drive down there and pick them up from the distillers because it was just waste for them, and now they're whatever, $200, $300 bucks a pop. But it'll be the blend of, usually Heaven Hill, Wild Turkey.
Anything up here? You guys use River Root at all? No?
We have not. Mike Gorick will probably get on me about doing something. So we've done some small, like Watershed. We do with Watershed. They're from Columbus, but Watershed. There's a bourbon that they aged in barrels that we used for barrel-aged Christmas ale.
Oh.
So I got just a little hint of that barrel-aged Christmas ale in the bourbon. So we've done some of that stuff. Yeah.
So I gotta say that tasting this and then the cookie one, which I've never said the name right, but obviously this one's barrel aged. It's a little bit more fuller, more, but
11 versus 5.
yeah,
Right.
but the 5 does not taste like a 5. I mean, I think it kind of rivals and is very close to it. The flavor profile is a little bit different with the mocha, but just the base of it. My point is that the 5 is actually coming close to the 11, which is, I'm kind of surprised. It's a very nice, full-bodied 5 to me.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yep. I was
Cookie
fine.
exchange.
I always say
Couldn't
too. I
remember.
think base blackout stout's a pretty dry imperial stout too. Like compared to some of the other ones out there, just the base is like lower finishing gravity and all that. So I haven't looked at the brew sheet for a while, but I'm pretty sure it's so. Probably part of the reason why the barrel-aged blackout stout doesn't seem that much more thick and viscous, because the base blackout's actually not that it's not that full-bodied of an imperial stout. So.
I mean, mine was a compliment.
Also
to
a compliment to the cookie, right?
Mine is a compliment to the cookie, which
Right.
is
100%.
tasting more full body than a 5%.
Right.
Now, I also noticed there's a couple other package versions of a rye barrel stout, and there's a couple other ones.
Imperial Porter. Yep. Those are still probably mostly just in the gift shop at this point. But I think she might still have stock of all that stuff.
Oh, we're getting some.
Yeah.
And that's something you guys have been doing for a while, because I know the bourbon barrel aged Christmas, that's not necessarily new or changed. You guys have been
About a
doing barrel
decade.
aged-
About a decade for that stuff.
Yeah.
Barrel aged Blackout was first, and that was like again 2006. Then we had the Barrel aged Christmas in the mid 2010s, and then we've done other stuff. I mean, for a little while, we were doing like barrel aged of. Oh, the Rack House was one. But then we had a triple that we packaged. We did some in bourbon barrel aging. Although that might have been the other way. We actually did the barrel aged triple first and then put it in a standalone. But the rye and the Imperial Porter are more recent versions, yeah. Where those are beers very specifically brewed for the barrel to be laid down for a year or so.
Okay.
6 months, whatever it was. But
Now,
in the gift shop, come on down. I think they're fairly exclusive to the gift shop right now.
I see in our notes you're asking me what my favorite beer is, but there's so many. But I do have to say that I cannot go a Halloween without buying Nosferatu.
Oh yeah, Nosferatu is
And
great.
It's a style that not a lot of people appreciate. The Red Imperial IPA is a unique flavor. I think you guys do a really good job with that. And to me, it just, again, as I'm handing out kids candy to the kids, I've always got a Nosferatu in my hand.
Getting banged up on the Nosferatu.
Yeah, the adults come up and you can put the Nos in their pocket.
No, they can have the Miller Lite.
I'm not
Give
giving,
them the Cold Rush.
I'm not giving that away.
Give
Yeah.
them the Cold Rush. Give them the Cold Rush. Just $12.99 for a 12-pack of Cold Rush. So you can just give that away. Whatever. It's all good.
Dave, do you have a favorite of Great Lakes? I mean, there's so many.
Can I choose from seasonals? I mean, I mentioned Chill Wave is a great one. I think Lake Erie Monster is one I freaking love. Let's go with the Lem. Go with the Lem as my all-time favorite.
Which one?
The Lake Erie Monster.
Lemmy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have to say the Vivacious series that came out, which we
forgot
want
about
to talk
that.
about a little bit. I think it's taken again my Chill Wave, and I remember when it was after the lawsuit. Used to be Alchemist.
Alchemy Hour. Yeah. Alchemy Ale. Yep.
Yeah. The Vivacious series is just, to me, very similar, but another dimension to that. If you want to call it double IPA series, like the Lake Erie was in the Chill Wave or Lake Erie Monster, but the Vivacious series has added that little sweetness. And the one I had here is the Blood Orange one, but you guys have a couple different flavors of that. I think it's been a great. I see billboards of driving downtown Cleveland of Vivacious. So you guys have
did
done
that. We've been doing that with Cold Rush Spring lately.
But I mean, was that something that, again, in an era where that's not a very popular style of beer for most people? And I'm not most people, but
Right.
How's
It's
that?
a little, the Vivacious thing's interesting because I know what you're talking about. Low on the bitterness side. But it's different from, I think there's a subtle difference between, let's say, a Chill Wave or a Lake Erie Monster, which is a more 90s style sea malt double IPA, where Vivacious is just maybe honey malt.
It's getting that late edition hop.
I think it's just pale malt. But yeah, because there's the lack of IBU, you think it's sweet, but it's really just, you're thinking about comparing it to other double IPAs that are bitter, but it's not actually sweet. It's just the lack of the bitterness. And then it's, again, I mean, it's a theme here. Low bitterness, big aroma, and exactly, it's all late edition. So it's kind of the Voodoo, the Voodoo Ranger thing, where it's like jacked up ABV, but you drink it and it's kind of juice-like and all that. So
Yeah.
especially when you do the Juicy Vivacious, which has the extra orange, passion fruit, and all that stuff added onto it. So yeah, and those are year-round too. The regular and the Juicy Vivacious are or year round. The blood orange was kind of a Halloween thing. So, yeah.
You know how difficult it is to get Google Docs to spell vivacious with a B? It corrects it. It corrects it. It corrects it. Yeah.
We promise it's vivacious.
It's vivacious. Yeah.
I've typed this 1,000 times. It's vivacious. Yeah.
So, I mean, we talked about your place here. We talked about the beers. You also happen to serve food and have
Very
an
good
incredible
food.
menu.
Yeah.
You guys went through a little bit of change in the last, I think, 6 months. You did a little kitchen and menu renovations.
Back in May.
But tell us about the menu. Anything you want to highlight? Any specials right now?
So, the menu, we got a new chef in the spring. The full new menu launched in May. Chris Santala. He was at Westsiders, which won like best new restaurant in one of the competitions, one of the magazines last year. So great find. And he kind of got us a little closer back to the local sourcing of ingredients. Not that we had strayed that far from it, but just got more aligned with that philosophy that Pat and Dan have always appreciated. And when we started, they strive to do and all that kind of thing. It was a significant flip. A lot of times when we changed the menu, there'd always be some holdovers, but it was like the pretzel was the only thing that was still on the menu.
But it's a full menu. Appetizers, full
menu,
dinners, people on handhelds, burgers. If they want to sit down, fork and knife, you've got everything.
Yes,
right?
yep, yeah, we're full. So sometimes it's the tap room and it's just sandwiches or whatever. This is a full restaurant for sure. I mean, they've got come here for the beer, drink the beer, but they've got great cocktails and all that stuff on top, especially down here in the Cellar Pub. Some very festive themed cocktails down here. But yeah, you can definitely come down here for a full meal with the family, especially this time of year with the holidays and all that going on. So.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, knocking back this boy. I need something to eat.
Get some mac and cheese in that belly or whatever.
All right, let's get into the boil here.
Yeah, well, what we got? Nothing going on
Nothing
homebrew wise.
homebrew-wise.
I designed a saison that's going to be coming up. So
Before we get to Great Lakes, we do have Hoppy Holidays coming up.
yes, we do.
At Lorraine Brewing Company. Tickets are still on sale. It's this coming Saturday.
I think there's a Cyber Monday deal on right now.
Is it still going?
It's
It's not Cyber Monday. It's Tuesday now.
It's Cyber Monday-ish.
They always go long.
It's this Saturday, 6 to 10.
Use hashtag BlabberMalt Show. They'll give you some money off.
There's
I
going
don't
to
know
be
if that's true.
appetizers, buffet, some great brewers are going to be out there. Laughing Bomb, obviously LBC, Butcher and Brewer, Four Paws. So
Yeah.
maybe Ann will be out there. Blue Monkey, Brick and Barrel, Two Friends, Brew Kettle, Collision Ben, Schnitz, Terrestrial, Mastheads,
Yeah.
and Unplugged.
And me and Tom will be out there possibly pouring beer. So we'll see.
Or if not, drinking beers, but at least
We'll
doing
be
something,
drinking
something
beers
related
for
to
sure.
beers.
Yeah, some beer related. Yeah.
and-
So get your tickets and get out there.
Yeah.
And the buffet they have is usually, Brian.
Oh, Brian.
Just
Oh, by the way, happy birthday, Brian. Today's his birthday.
Nice.
nice. I didn't know that. Happy birthday.
Great Lakes, what you guys got going on? Anything coming up this week?
Yeah.
Or
We do. So, well, we already talked a little bit about the cellar, but actually, I got a view of the backdrop on the laptop over there, and you guys can see the decorations here. It's really decked out. So, just to reiterate about that, weekends right now, I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday it's open, but then the week before and after Christmas it'll be open every day. Again, fresh Christmas sale, can't beat it from the source. And again, a room where Christmas threw up all over the place. So there's ornaments and all that stuff. And they'll be playing the music. I'm sure they have holiday movies on TV or whatever.
you guys open 7 days a week?
The pub generally is open 7 days a week. Yeah, Sunday's like just the brunch, like the first part of the day.
And
But open.
upstairs as well, 7 days a week?
Yep. Down here again, just the weekends for now, but then full on right around Christmas. But the pub itself is open 7 days a week. There are some cool events going on. If you go to the events section of the website, there's like a remixed version of the Holiday Brewmasters Dinner. They have some brunches with Santa on Sundays, that whole kind of thing coming up. So best place to go is GreatLakesBrewing.com/events. It should still be events. And you'll see all the other fun stuff we have going on throughout the month of December and beyond. So,
And you guys do on the website. You'll find you guys do tours and stuff and tastings and stuff as well.
yep, yeah, we have our public brewery tours on the weekend. Definitely still Friday, Saturday. I want to say they still do one on Sunday, but check the times on the website.
Yeah.
I used to be heavily involved with the public Hop College classes, which is basically your beer education class for the public. So we've been doing a lot of fun pairing styles with them. I know there's a holiday beer one with brew nuts that might have already happened, but maybe not. So check the website. All sorts of fun stuff you'll see there.
Sounds good.
Nice. Well, we got some stuff coming up on the show. Next week, we have our annual Christmas beer tasting event. I think we're up to maybe like 15 beers or something like
beers.
that. Yeah.
That one is sponsored by Winking Lizard.
Yep. John Lane's going to be there.
John Lane's going to be there and provided us with a bunch of Christmas beers.
I'm going to crash that one.
For real? Do it, dude. I'll get the address. We'll get you down there.
We got that coming up, and then the next we're trying to reschedule. I mean, so we were off last week. Our guest actually was ill, so hopefully she's feeling better. We can get her in coming up in December there. We may take the last Tuesday off for
close to the
Sandy's
holidays. Yeah.
sake, but then we've got something coming up the first of the year.
Yeah, we're going to be down in Medina at Hemingway's Down Under. It's a craft cocktail bar opened by Zane and his wife, who is a former brewer at Royal Docks. So,
Which I told Dave, I mean, I thought we were a beer place, and he said, beer, booze, things with a B, doesn't matter.
begins with a B. We know Zane. He's a brewer. It's tied in. It's going to be good. It'll be fun.
So again, where can they find us on media?
Well, we're on Facebook and YouTube at the BlabberMalt Show, Instagram, Threads, X, at BlabberMalt. And hit the Beacons link. You can get all the swag, find all the social details, and follow us everywhere. Go to Spotify. Go to Amazon Podcast. Follow us there. We're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
We're on Twitch, too. Go to Twitch. I
I
don't even know what Twitch is, man.
But I want to thank
That's
Mike
the
again.
fancy.
Mike again for having us, though, and this was fabulous. Again, this was kind of a big thing to come out. You know, we had an opportunity to meet Luke, who was a big thing.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Being here at Great Lakes and you guys hosting us here, taking care of us, and talking to us about your story has been fabulous. So thank you so much.
Sure thing.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
It's a pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Enjoy the stretch run to the end of the year.
Absolutely.
So what do we have to say?
Well, stay malty, Cleveland.